So 100 doctors have been laid off in Kenya. 100 doctors. That simply means 100 doctors in Kenya will not have jobs anymore. That's not a good thing to learn about. Not nice. And what's the reason why 100 doctors will not be working anymore? They're going to lose their jobs. It's because they ask for better condition of work. Yes, they wanted better pay, better salaries. They want their real money to be paid. So 100 doctors who are taking part of a nationwide strike that is ongoing for almost a month. Doctors in Kenya have been marching for a while, striking for their money. They want their money paid. Many of them say they have not been paid in a long time. So it's about time they get paid so they can take care of their families, right? I mean, they provide you with services, make sure that you don't die. So they should get paid. Who agrees? Great. So now the doctors have made a lot of noise and the president has reacted. And the president made a comment. And he said on Sunday, breaking his silence, that there was no money to pay striking doctors. We must be honest with ourselves. And the truth is that we must live within our means. We cannot borrow money to pay salaries, the president said. The country cannot borrow money to pay salaries. So who's going to pay these people?
I'm telling our friends, the doctors, that we mind about them, we value the service they give to our nation, but we must live within our means. The resources we have are only sufficient to pay 70,000 shillings for intern doctors. It is not a salary, it is a stipend for only 1 year, and then they will be employed. And we want all our doctors, all our doctor interns to be taken in.
I mean, these are doctors that work in public hospitals. Okay, you know, public hospitals have many issues. A lot of people run away from public hospitals because usually, you know, not all, but usually the service is not good. And people don't really care, and the care that you get is not necessarily good. And I'm talking about many African countries. Public hospitals, yeah, it's sometimes a dead sentence. And if you look into it before you blame those doctors, when you hear stories like this, it breaks your heart. When a doctor gives his time, because doctors work very, very hard trying to keep everybody alive. In ER, emergencies, accident, gunshot, all these stuff that happen every single night. And these parents, husbands, brothers, sisters have to stay awake to try to keep everybody alive. Just to be told there is no money for you is very sad. Why Kenyan doctors are striking? Kenyan doctors have been striking since March 15th. Reason number one, unpaid salary arrears. The doctors in Kenya have not received their salary for months. Doctors are demanding payment for outstanding salaries promised to them since 2017, fellas. 2017. Doctors are demanding salary since 2017. These are public hospital doctors. This is very, very sad. They're bargaining. They're begging for their money. Number two, they want government to hire more trainee doctors to address under-trafficking in public hospitals. So basically, there are plenty of people coming to hospital. A lot of people are sick. A lot of people have diseases. A lot of people encounter car accidents. At the end, whether you like it or not, you're going to need to hire more doctors. So you can allow the doctors that are practicing right now to have some time to breathe. I mean, a bunch of doctors cannot take care of the entire country. And by the way, you have schools, you have university where people learn medicine. Where are they supposed to go? Why don't you just close the medicine university if you don't plan to hire more doctors? Close the university where they teach medicine. At least Kenyan young men know that, okay, in Kenya, we don't hire any more doctors. Let me go to a different country. Let me go to Zambia. Let me go to South Africa, perhaps. Let me go to Namibia. Let me go to a different place, Ghana. Maybe I'm going to be hired. Or let me go to the US or a different place. Why would you have a university that teaches medicine, but you don't want to hire people? What's the purpose of it? That is playing with people's brains. And doctors, number three, in public hospitals want improved working conditions. They are seeking for better medical insurance coverage for themselves and their dependent, which I find absolutely normal. Okay? As a doctor, you want your children, your wife to be protected with insurance, right? Because what you do for the public is you provide health. So don't you deserve, with the money that the government makes, to get just a little bit of insurance to insure your children, your wife, should anything negative occur? I don't know, you tell me, do you find this request absurd? Number one, pay me my money, the money you owe me for some time now. Number 2, hire more doctors so we can breathe, so we can spend some time with our family. So we don't have to stay every day, all month at work because there are too many people coming in here. Okay, we are understaffed. Number 3, give us insurance. Provide our families with insurance. So if any of our children, my wife, my partner, my husband fall sick, we can be protected. I'm sure you can do that. I mean, with all the money you spend with parties, government reunions, these parties of government, these meetings, they spend money. They rent big hotels. They have to buy food, drinks, when politicians come together to talk about something that will not necessarily benefit the country directly or immediately. They spend money on drinks. They spend money on food. They hire the place. So if you take that money and you try to put it in a system where doctors can get insurance or get paid the money, will that not work? John Pombe Magufuli in Tanzania canceled spendings of government in terms of meetings. He said, if you want to come have a meeting, eat at home. Eat the food of your wife. Come here, have a meeting, and go back home. There's no coming to meetings and eating and splashing and drinking, then none of that anymore. That's what Magufuli said. Because he said, why should we have big meetings, spending a lot of money, whilst many people are suffering? Okay, many people in the country do not have access to decent hospitals, don't have access to good healthcare services. We need to take this money and inject it into where it's needed. We don't have to spend it. Magufuli cancelled the celebration of independence, where they were supposed to spend millions of dollars, in parties, in a festive situation. He said, take that money. We're going to invest this money into building a road from one city to the other. That's what he did. He took some of the money, invested into hospital, renewing, rebranding these hospitals, updating these hospitals. The money that he used was not money borrowed for anywhere else. It was money he got from the country, for money that was sitting in different pockets, being spent stupidly. It's very clear. Doctors want to be paid. They want their money back. They want the money they worked for. Number 2, they want you to hire more doctors. Allow those kids to have a job and allow these other doctors to breathe. Number 3, they want insurance for their families. Now, what has occurred? Now, is that crazy? I don't think that's crazy. Now, is that crazy? You guys tell me if you think it's crazy. What has happened now is that they have fired these doctors. Yes, these doctors have been fired, hundreds of them at least. And I think it's very simple. Firing these doctors is just a way to send a message to everybody else saying, okay, we have fired these ones. If you continue to strike, we're going to fire you too. So you make a decision now whether you want to work and have a job, take care of your family, or you want out. It's crazy. People are asking for the money you owe them, but you fire them. Is that honest? I don't know. And what bothers me the most, and they say they have hired new doctors, 100 new doctors to take care of business. Now, my question is this. How do you take space from another human being, another African brother who's fighting for a better situation? Let me rephrase this. I've been fighting for my salary because I'm in arrears. I haven't been paid. The treatment is bad. They're not looking after us. And I'm striking so we can get better. But you, another Kenyan man, you come and take my place because I am fighting to better my life, to better my situation. Isn't that cowardly? I find that absolutely coward. Why don't everybody else stand with these doctors and fight for the things that make sense? I mean, I remember many years ago in South Africa, something was happening. Okay. I think there was something really, really negative. I'm going to tell you the story. In South Africa, about 10 years ago, security personnel, security guards were fighting to get a better salary. They wanted to be paid better. What they earned at the time was just above $150 equivalent. So they wanted a better pay. And in order to get a better pay, the security personnel decided to strike, hoping that the company owners will think about them and say, okay, you know what? Let's find a solution. Let's give us more money. Let's provide you with more money so you can look after yourself. I mean, what can you do with $150? Not very much. The strike started. The security personnel refused to go to work. And most of you know South Africa is not the safest country in Africa. Okay, there's a lot of crime happening. If security personnel say they're not going to work, you better be worried. And for 2 days, they did not go to job. And for a couple of days, they didn't go to work. Now, what happened next? What happened was African immigrants living in South Africa that happened to work within the security business. Most of them, at least some of them, went to work. So while South Africans were working to try get a pay, to get a response, a positive response to better their situation, some of these people from Mozambique, from Zimbabwe, from different places went to work. So the South Africans were very angry. We are striking so the owner of the company can treat us better, fairly, because they get a lot of money from these people looking to be secured. They get plenty of money from these companies wanting security. Now, we're striking so we can be paid accordingly. And you come from a different country. You come into my country And you're ready to accept the stupid pay, so very little money, just because you think you need money. So I am in my house. I'm fighting so I can get better pay. You are okay to work with the money I don't want. So what's going to happen next? My boss will start hiring people just like yourself and not me, because then he's going to feel like, okay, this foreign guy is giving me much less issues than this local guy, because this local guy want to be treated accordingly. Was the South African security personnel demand absurd? Absolutely not. They want to be paid fairly. They want to have better conditions. But the foreign guy that comes from another country, comes to South Africa, have much less to lose, because he came to, he's going to take anything. The South African man has a bit of a pride because this is his land. Okay, this is my land. I'm in my land. You're the security owner. You still have to pay me appropriately. But the guy that comes from another country, from Zimbabwe or Mozambique, doesn't really care, provided they get a salary. At least he's not broke. And you know what happened next? Many South African security started going site by site, finding people that went to work while they were striking and beating the living shit out of them. And some of them died. Yes, because they found it very cowardly for you to leave your country to come into my country where I am striking for better situation and you accepting the job I am refusing. You taking bread out of my mouth. And I think, and this is just my opinion, that people that took the 100 places where the 100 doctors were fired are cowards. They're very similar to those security personnel that came from Mozambique and Zimbabwe accepting jobs where South African refused because of the salary. It's crazy. Why would you do that? We also know that Kenya negotiated with Saudi Arabia lately about better pay or better situation for maids, because many Kenyan maids go to Saudi Arabia to work, hoping to get a good salary, because, Saudi Arabia has got so much oil and so much riches. The Kenyan government has had a deal with Saudi Arabia on how these people should be treated appropriately, and they negotiated a basic salary for them. And guess what? The basic salary for Saudi Arabia domestic worker is very similar, if not more, than the doctors who work in public hospitals in Kenya. Me as a Kenyan, I'd rather be a domestic worker in Saudi Arabia than being a doctor in my own country. That's the signal we're sending. It's very sad. And I blame the people that accepted these jobs where other people are fighting for better situation. You are cowardly taking their position. That is cowardly. You don't do that. You stand by your brothers who are fighting for better situation. Guess what? That other doctor that's fighting for a better situation, for better pay, for better condition, when it's elevated to the new standard, by the time you enter the business, you are treated accordingly, isn't it? You are treated perfectly because somebody else fought the fight for you. Now you coming with a counterproductive action, fighting a person who's fighting to be better and to better your future situation. That's coward. That's absolutely coward. Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. It's always a good pleasure. I want to know how you feel. If Kenyans are here, please let us know how you feel about this. Does it make sense to take a job where somebody else has fought for so many years? 2017, they're looking to get paid appropriately. They want to get paid. They want to be treated like doctors. They want to be treated accordingly. It takes many years to become a doctor. It's not like, no, it's a decent job. God bless.